Welcome everyone. This is our Thursday morning production call. We got a good one lined up for y'all today. One, we're going to tie in the holidays to this. We're going to tie in being able to book more appointments, getting more applications with less resistance. We're going to have this will be a lot of little things that you'll be able to write down and actually apply. Right, it's not just more on the concept. This will be little nuggets that you'll be able to use or references that you'll be able to say. Again, I always like to start the call. This is an hour-long call. Please have a pen and notepad out. There is no way you're going to remember anything, right, or very little, right, of what we talk about today. That way y'all can write it down and actually go apply it. Again, we teach, right, do not go change your entire appointment process at this point. Right, y'all have helped families. You've written an application. We're not trying to change your whole appointment. What we love to teach is grab 2 or 3 things that you're not applying that you feel would help you in your appointment, and then just start adding those little by little. The hard part is writing it down, taking notes, and then actually putting it into your appointment, right? Realize this is a waste of time if you don't apply what you're learning on here. So be very intentional about this, and we will give you some really good nuggets to help you through that process. And then what we really love to ask as a group, right, in the whole Cook hierarchy, we're learning together. If anything you get from this call does help you with a family, if y'all can post that in band, it really does help other agents, right, to be able to apply that for them in their appointment. So that's my humble ask, and we will get started. So today, right, just having a lot of one, shout out to everyone that's going into live dial rooms or working with your mentor and dialing in front of them unmuted. Right, this is the only way we learn. This is the only way we get to help you. We've said this before. Tickle, what are you listening to? Mute yourself. And again, it's the process of being able to help you run appointments or book appointments is we have to hear you, right? Realize if you are doing it by yourself, and what I mean by yourself is, look, you can prep with your upline, you can get advice, but then you go run the appointment or you're dialing by yourself right at home, not in a workroom, not in a Zoom room, or not in front of your mentor. Realize, right, if we consider, I always love a Kobe right, example, it would be like you going to practice in your own private gym and then coming to your coach and saying, hey, how was my layup? Right, there's just no way for us to be able to coach you. And then realize if you're doing it that way, that's you giving your own self advice, right? Because then you're relying on you listening to yourself and saying, hey, Connie, I know you're my upline, but I was dialing and I noticed I'm doing this. Right? Is that really being mentored, or is that you giving yourself advice? Right? So just be cautious of that. And then I always love to remind everyone, if in a normal job before you came here, you worked in front of everybody. You worked in front of your boss, you worked in front of your manager, you worked in front of your coworkers. And we are all coworkers here. So there is no such thing as I'm too embarrassed, too shy to be in a workroom unmuted. That is normal circumstances anywhere else you go. You do not work by yourself in private. You literally work in front of someone, or you're reporting to someone, right? You do some work and you give it to them, and then they check it. Right? Like no one goes and works by themselves. So realize, again, sometimes it's a little fear thing, but it's generated in this virtual world where, hey, I don't have to be on Zoom. You kind of do, right? If not, you're not going to get better. So highly suggest, again, you work in front of your mentors. You work in a Zoom room where you can be unmuted dialing. We had a brand new agent yesterday. I think it was her first time dialing, right, Amber? And she booked 3 appointments, right? And again, that only happens when you're doing it live. So take advantage of that. And that's where we'll go with this, right? How do we help you? How do we help you be able to book more appointments? And we're going to go into tips on less resistance on booking an appointment, and then in the appointment. So I'm going to start with booking the appointment, right? Again, less resistance. Realize, one, human nature, we want to combat anything or defend. And what do I mean by that? When you call a client, we get into our emotions where we want to defend our lead, right? What is defending? And think about this. You may be like, no, I never defend my lead. But have you ever said, no, 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 I'm calling about the letter you called the number on there and you answered a few things, or you filled it out and you send it back to us. As soon as you say that, you are defending the lead. Realize that. In the client's eyes, you are defending what you know is true, right? Realize the way humans work is everyone likes to be combative or be right for the most part. And what does that mean when you're talking to a client? They're trying to be right, as in, I don't know what you're talking about. I never did this. I don't remember. And then you're trying to be right, like, no, no, you did. You filled out a form, you called it in, you responded online, you did this, right? And realize at that point, it's now a he said, she said, and you will always lose because realize the client will just simply lie and say, no, I didn't. And they will never let that go. And now you're trying to, so this is where you'll lose the client because now you're trying to prove them wrong. And you're calling them out and calling them a liar, right? So if they say, no, I don't remember doing that, I don't know what you're talking about. And we go into the, well, your wife did, you did, you called this, they're just simply going to say no and realize the next thing out of your mouth, no matter what, in their eyes, you're calling them a liar. There's just no way around it, right? So you are now being offensive to the client, no matter what. You didn't create it, the client did, right? They're the ones that said, no, I didn't. And then you said, yes, I did. And they're like, no. And then you're like, no, no, remember, you did this. It doesn't matter how nice you say it. You are now trying to prove the client wrong. They are not going to sit there on the phone and listen to you at that point, right? So realize it's all about the way we book more appointments is the least amount of resistance, right? I said this joke earlier on one of our other calls, right? I remember this from my dad when I was learning how to drive. He said, as you learn how to drive, and if you're speeding, he goes, realize you're the road runner and the cop is a coyote. And your job is to run away and their job is to catch you, right? And it's the same thing in here because realize their job is to run away and tell you no. Your job is to book an appointment and write an app. And if you really understand the simplicity, and this is going to get very salesy, but I want y'all to understand this, is our job is to sell them, right? They are running away from us and our job is to catch them. And when you look at that, when you look at it in that manner and make it fun, a lot of this stuff or feelings kind of go away, right? Because then you realize they're not doing it to you. They're just being the client, right? They're just being the road runner, right? Like their job is to simply run away, right? We're the salesperson trying to catch them. Their job is to run away. They're not doing it to you. They're just doing what they're supposed to do, right? And that's why sales is hard, right? Their job is to run away no matter what. What does runaway stand for? I don't know what you're talking about. I never filled out that form, right? Blank off. They're going to cuss at you. I already got it. My mortgage company doesn't regret. Whatever you have heard, realize that's just them being the road runner, right? That's just them running away and simply making it harder for you to catch them as a coyote, right? Like, and when you again start having fun with it this way, sales becomes fun, right? Because sales is not fun is if you just simply feel or stay by yourself in a room, right, and not be in a Zoom room and just absorb all these no's and F offs and I don't know what you're talking about and know that I never created that lead, whatever it may be. That's not fun, right? Like I've done this for 7.5 years. I do not have fun when I am not in a Zoom room and I'm absorbing no's by myself, right? It is so much funner when we're in a Zoom room and right, James laughs at what they yelled at me about, right? Or we hear what they say and they, oh yeah, somebody just told me the same thing, right? Again, we control that part, right? So the path of less resistance is understanding that first. The client's job is to run away. Okay. Our job is to catch them. So do not get offended, right? Or do not get into feelings about what they're telling you, or even worse, where you doubt the lead. Okay. We have the best leads in the whole wide world. I can promise you that. I have, in 7.5 years, I have tried almost every other avenue. I have tried everything out there, and there is nothing like an MIA or a CIA. Okay. These folks have responded. The only way we have their phone number is it was given to us. Okay. That is the only way. There is no way around it. Once you trust that, there is no need to defend the lead, right? Because that's the only reason. So realize when you defend the lead, it's because you doubt your own resource. Okay. I'll kind of dig into just how a lead is created. Somebody buys, refinances, gets a HELOC, they do something with the loan or the bank. That is public record that is put somewhere where Symmetry just simply gets an address and a name and the amount. That's it. We don't have a phone number. Address, amount, and name. Okay. We send out a letter, we send out a digital, whatever, right? If they're a digital lead, we send out those things. They respond to it, confirm, put in the phone number. This is the first time we've accessed the phone number. They put in a phone number for us to call. If you have a call-in lead, we have the caller ID and the phone number. There is no better leads than what Symmetry generates. I promise you. After that, it's just a sales game. It's just the Roadrunner and the Coyote, right? Either we give up and they win, or we catch them and we win, right? But there is no better leads. Now, here's the thing. We are still randomly calling them throughout the day or the week or the month, right? So realize, yes, we have the greatest leads. They have given us their information and they want more information, but we are still randomly calling them, right? That means they're in the grocery store. They just had dinner with their spouse. They're walking their dog. They're at work, whatever it may be. And then realize that life is happening around them. And what does that mean is you can just catch them in a bad time, right? Like if you just caught me maybe in the morning and I just had to drop off my kids, and right, Tiffany forgot her duffel bag and I got to go drop it off. And then the other kid called me, right? And I'm now upset, and you randomly call me, Ashley, and say, hey, I'm calling about the lead. Nope. I'm in a bad mood, right? Again, the road runner's just being the road runner, right? And you cannot be in your emotions about, oh my God, this is a bad lead. They don't want this. They're not interested. No, they're going to say, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Bye, click. Okay. That's the road runner being the road runner. Okay. You have not established why you're calling. You still got to call that lead. The lead was just doing what the lead does. Right. And when you truly start to understand this stuff, it makes it easier to have less resistance. And I'm going to get into these kind of tips, right, of why it's really important. So we now understand we have the best leads in the market. We now know we're randomly calling them. So they will be upset, annoyed, bothered, or happy, right? Oh yeah, thank you for calling, Vincent. I'm ready for that. I know I did that. Let's book tomorrow, 5 o'clock. Perfect. Thank you for calling, right? Again, the roadrunner is being the roadrunner. But now when we know this, what do I mean by the path of less resistance? Realize once they pick up the phone for booking an appointment, their job is to be the roadrunner. I don't care what comes out of their mouth. You cannot defend it. Do not defend the lead. Do not defend why you're calling, right? Anything you say, I'm calling about this. I'm doing it because of that. You filled out the form. You have now put up a resistant wall that they can grab onto, and the roadrunner is going to do what the roadrunner does, and they're never going to let go. You've given them. So realize when you try to overcome an objection and you try to defend the lead, you are the one giving the client ammunition or something to hold on to that they will never let go. You are the one killing the lead because you're defending the lead. Right? The client's always going to say, no, I didn't, Vincent. I don't know what you're talking about. That's like the easiest roadrunner path you can lay up for them. So realize when you say that, and listen, I sometimes still say, right? It's an instant reaction because they're like, no, Connie, no, I don't know what you're talking about. No. Why are you, where'd you get my information? Where you get that information? That is like the easiest reason for us to say, well, you called the letter on the right that they mailed to you, or you filled out. You have now given them the resistance that they need, and they're going to grab onto it, and they're never going to let it go. Right? So, what's the path of least resistance? What is the tip? I hope y'all are ready for this one. Okay. What you do is you just simply agree and move on. The two best ways to do this. Y'all probably already heard them, but please write them down. This is the tip of the day for the path of least resistance. The two tips right here. That's exactly why I'm calling. That's exactly why I'm calling, is you agreeing with them. Okay. What do I mean by that? This is where it's magic, and this is where it sounds crazy. What are you talking about, James? I don't know. Well, you're a telemarketer. Stop calling me. F off. Whatever they tell you, this is where the crazy comes out and the magic. Yeah, that's exactly why I'm calling. James, why are you calling me? I'm going to call the cops. I don't know why you got my information. Yeah, that's exactly why I'm calling. There's nothing for them to grab onto. Okay. You give them you acknowledge that they've said something, you're being respectful, but you give them absolutely nothing to grab onto because you just simply agreed with them. Right. I don't know. Why are you calling me? I already got this coverage. Whatever they may say. Yep. That's exactly why I'm calling. Tomorrow at 3 o'clock, and you go back to closing, right? You go back to booking the appointment. You give them absolutely, they are defenseless, right? You take everything away from them, and you are now in control when you say that's exactly why I'm calling. My other favorite one, hope y'all are ready. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I started using that about 4.5, 5 years ago. It has made me hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay. They had, what can they say? I just simply agreed. Oh, okay. There is nothing. They're literally going like this, like, dang, because realize they're lying, right? If you got a CIA lead and it's brand new from today, realize they hung up the phone not too long ago. They know they called this in. Realize if it's a MI, whatever it may be, realize they had to physically go through the steps, write things down, fill out the form, put it in the mail, walk it to the post office or the mailbox, right? Nobody's mailbox is at their house anymore. They got clusters down the street. But like the process of becoming a lead for Symmetry is insane, right? That's why our leads are so good. Realize, so they're swinging and you have given them absolutely nothing to grab onto. And that's why this is such a game, and it's a mental thing, right? Oh, okay. Or that's exactly why I'm calling, leaves them like this. They have nothing to grab onto. Because as soon as you say, yes, you called the form, I'm calling because you refinanced, you reached out to us, maybe your wife did, whatever you do, you are defending the lead. And they're like, got him, and I'm never going to let go. And you have ruined that lead because you can't call them back once they say, no, nope, no, I didn't, no, I didn't, no, I didn't. Right. And then the next thing is they're now in defense mode. Right. So this is where the resistance comes in. Realize again, their job is to be the road runner. Our job is to be the coyote. If we give them something to fight with, they are now in combat mode. Right. What is combat mode? Hey, I didn't fill this out. Yes, you did. You called the number on there and filled it out. Hey, I'm just the agent assigned to you. My job is to simply write. Nope, I don't get. They're now in fight mode. We put them in fight mode. They are now having fun being the road runner. Right now, it's like, nope, nope, no, I didn't do that, and they know they got you. Right? There's always a sale, and the sale when you're booking the appointment, either they're winning or you're winning. And when you give them something to grab onto, that's exactly what's going to happen. So when you're booking appointments, the path of least resistance is acknowledging and back to script, right? The two best ways to acknowledge and go back to script are very simple. That's exactly why I'm calling. And then back to script wherever you were at. That's exactly why I'm calling. So I'm the agent assigned to you. It takes about 10 or 15 minutes to go over what you qualify for. I got a 3 o'clock available. No, I don't know what you're talking about, Joe, blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay. So tomorrow at 3 o'clock, is that a good time for me to go over this coverage? No, I already told you I got this coverage. I don't know what you mean. That's exactly why I'm calling. Tomorrow at 3 o'clock, I'll be able to go over the coverage for you. Is that a good time? It's insane. It is insane. It is so funny when we have this kind of resistance, because then the next thing is, well, I guess 5 o'clock will work. It is the coolest and the funnest part about being a dialer, booking appointments, and doing this part, right? Is learning to play the game, because that's what this is. They're right. We're the coyote. They're the road runner. We got to catch them. And again, when you start understanding that this is very right psychological, right? We are being defensive. You can say you're not, but I promise, if the words come out, I'm calling because you filled out the form. This is why you are defending you are in defense mode. The only reason you are in defense mode is you got emotional. You let them win. You let them tell you that this is a lie, or that they don't know why you're calling. And you're like, no, 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 Vincent, I'm telling you, you filled out a form. It's the only way I get your phone number, right? Like you go into all the who's winning who, right? Do we trust our lead? And then can we not be emotional about it? That's how you have the path of least resistance. So as y'all are dialing today and you're booking appointments, right? Just understand that we are in control. We lose control when we doubt our leads and we believe the client. The client is just being the road runner. They're going to tell you whatever they need to tell you to make you feel like you're wrong. And then you go into defense mode, right? And that's why, I mean, one of the best that do it is Nate. Nate just ignores everything they tell him, and he just sticks to the script. It is the coolest thing. They will be so defensive, and then all of a sudden, right, 3 o'clock tomorrow works. Perfect. Thank you. Here's my email. Here, thank you for calling. Right. So just understand, when you're booking the appointment, the path of least resistance is not giving them anything to grab onto. And again, the basis is just agree to what they're saying. A great example, Jimmy had one yesterday. And Jimmy, if I'm saying this wrong, please correct me. But basically, they were like, nope, I need you to do this right now. Again, the roadrunner being the roadrunner, they're trying to throw you off script. And he's like, no, let's book an appointment for tomorrow or later today. Nope, I'm not doing this unless you're ready to do this right now. How do we combat that? We agree with him. Oh, okay. Yep, that's exactly why I was calling. Let me just confirm the information that I have here. I got your address is this, your mortgage protection is, or your mortgage amount is here. I got your age at this. Do we have a spouse, right? We're back to script. We ignored what they said, right? We are still in control. And we just said, yeah, sure. You want an appointment right now? Great. We're going to go through the whole script. We're going to go through it. Now here, if he really wants it right now, here's a great little out at the end. But again, we didn't put up a wall, because as soon as we put the wall up, what does the wall sound like? Well, no, I can't, I'm not going to run the appointment right now. I need to book an appointment so I could go to work for you. Again, overcoming the objection. Overcoming the objection really means you're just giving them a reason to grab something, right? To grab something. And we don't want to do that. So it's, oh, okay. And go back to the script, confirm all the information. And then when you're at the very end, when you're trying to book the appointment, it's like, hey, you wanted to do it right now. I like that. I agree with you, Vincent. I need about 30 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever you think you need to go prep for the appointment, right? If you're a seasoned agent, run it right there and then, right? But if you need a prep as a new agent, right? Jimmy needs to prep. It's simple. It's like, hey, you know what? I need like 15 minutes. I'm going to go get you some quotes, make sure I got the right options for you. I'm going to do exactly what you wanted, Vincent. We're going to do this right now. Just let me call you in about 15 minutes and I'll call you right back with the best options. Again, we created no resistance. We agreed with whatever they said, and they're going to let us run through it, I promise. Right? So if you ever get that one too as a brand new agent and you don't want to run it right there in the spot, right? Because remember, the spouse got to be there too. So a lot of the bad part about running it on the spot is the spouse there, right? That's going to be really important. But just again, right, the path of least resistance is what's going to give you the power of booking a ton. I promise you, a ton of appointments. If you ever hear me dial, I am not even, I'm almost never paying attention to the client, right? Because it doesn't matter what they say when they're trying to resist. I'm just going through the script. If they say anything, it's like, oh, okay. And then so tomorrow at 3 o'clock looks like, is that a good time, morning or evening? I'm back to script. I'm not trying to defend them or defend the lead, right? We are just simply going through the motions. So again, I hope that helps when booking the appointments. Do we have any questions before we move on to in the appointment?
Question in the chat, Joe.
Let's see. What if they say they just want this for themselves? Same thing again. Oh, okay. And you keep going through script. Great. Oh, okay. So what's the name of your spouse? Right? I hope y'all understand, right? We agree and we keep doing what we do. We're the coyote, right? And I'm going to still ask you and verify all the information. I'm still going to keep on moving, right? I'm just going to simply agree with you. Nope, my spouse doesn't need to be there. I'm the decision. Oh, okay. So tomorrow, 3 o'clock, is that still a good time for both of y'all? Right? Like the joke is we don't resist them, right? We don't fight with them. We just keep moving on. Realize the people that are going to let you write an app are the people that are going to let you write an app. But you can't write an app unless you got an appointment, right? So if you resist because you're trying to stick to your guns, that's not going to work. We're still going to confirm. We're still going to make sure the spouse is there. We're still going to follow the script, right? And I'm going to give you all some good ones when we're in the appointment, right? Because they're trying to cut you short. You're still going to, yeah. I need my quotes. That's all I want, Connie. Give me my quotes right now. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm doing. And so let me verify your budget, right? Like we just agree and move on. There is no need, again, to create resistance because we're just going to make that sell even harder, right? Or you give them something to grab onto and then you're done, right? So again, booking the appointments, oh, okay, that's exactly why I'm calling are the two greatest things to again, I don't even call it overcoming objections because we don't, okay? If they don't want this, they ain't going to book it. We are trying to move past them because our true job is to finish the script or get hung up on. That is what we're really trying to do. I am more excited about you getting hung up on than you confirming with the client that they try to fill out this form because the only thing you did was kill that lead. Because what happens if they hang up on you anywhere in the process? Can anyone tell me that? Feel free to unmute. What happens if they hang up on you? Come on, let's have some people.
Joe, I text mine.
That's right. We get to call them back or we get to continue the conversation, right? We want them to hang up on us. That is actually our goal. Either we get hung up on or they let us finish the script. Because if we finish the script, we establish if they want this or not, right? And I think a lot of agents, we agree with them or we lose because we're going on their side because we don't want them to hang up on us. Your job is to make them hang up on you. If they hung up on you, it's because you didn't agree with them and you kept going with the script and you didn't falter, you didn't go play their game, and so they're going to hang up on you, and you can call them right back to establish why you're calling, right? And I highly suggest that if they hang up on you, don't be a sissy, call them right back. Okay, they're going to listen to you more because you had the courage to call them back. We are not a telemarketer. They filled out a form that says, hey, we can provide you with information. So they hang up on you, they cuss at you. I don't care what they do, they hang up on you. You call them right back. and very few people are going to actually pick up the phone. But when they do, they're like, I thought I told you, yep. Hey, I want to just take you off my list. I just want to make sure we know we're talking about the same thing. This is the mortgage protection that pays off the mortgage. If you get sick, it makes mortgage payments. A lot of folks confuse this with homeowners insurance. Is that exactly what we're talking about? Yes, I understand what this is, Joe. Perfect. Now you're off my list because I established why I was calling. If you can't say that sentence, you still need to call your lead. Realize what happens if you don't call that back. They become the next level lead and the next agent, and that client's in a good mood, goes and closes that home. Right? The next coyote came in, chased that roadrunner, and won. That's what happened. That's why our leads are so good. Most agents quit because they hang up on you, because they cussed at you, or because they no-showed you. Those are the three reasons why you lose a case, right? Or a client. So realize our job is to continue to keep chasing, right? We can't be in our emotions of they already no-showed me twice. We've already taught 3 to 4 no-shows to write an app, right? Or they're whatever they're telling you, defending the lead. That is not that we're going to lose. So again, before we move on to the end of the appointment, I'm booking the appointment. Anything they can tell y'all? All right, going once, going twice. So next one, right, is in the appointment. This one, I would say the biggest resistance we have is when they're trying to rush you, right? And when they're trying to rush you, we start skipping all these parts of the script. Again, if you start skipping parts of the scripts, you're just a quote giver. If they really wanted a quote, they can go online and get a quote. Okay. Your job is to run a full appointment. That is the only way you can establish and diagnose them, right? Whether they have health conditions, whether they have financial problems, right? Because that's the only reason they need mortgage protection. Remember, mortgage protection is because somebody passes away, money's not good in the home, and they lose the home, right? So we have to diagnose them. If you try to skip anything in the script, you're going to get that objection in the end, right? And what do I mean by that? If you don't, right? If you don't go over, hey, we're going to go through your budget at the very beginning and go through their budget, what do they tell you at the end of the appointment? Hey, me and my wife need to talk about my budget. You did that because you skipped it in the script, right? Or if you don't do the water trick allows them to think about it, right? So, hey, thanks, James, for giving me these options. Me and my wife need to think about it. Call me back, or I'll call you, right? Because we didn't say, hey, I've been talking all day. I need to go grab some water. This gives you some time to think about it, Vincent. Go ahead and think about it, and I'll be right back. Right? If you don't do that, they're going to tell you I need to think about it. Right? Whatever you skip, if you try to skip medical stuff, well, why don't I qualify for this? I don't understand. You told me I can get the full mortgage payoff, and you're trying to show them critical period or write something small. You skip the health conditions, right? Again, you created that by skipping it. And because what the script really does is it doesn't overcome objections, it goes right through them, right? It puts the elephant in the room and it says, let's talk about your health conditions. Let's talk about your money. Let's talk about why you need to think about this. Let's create the need. Realize when you skip anything in the script, that is the excuse they're going to give you at the end, right? So there's a lot of power in that. So again, the path of least resistance, the biggest one you're probably going to get in the appointment is, hey, I just need you. I don't need to be on here forever. Just give me the quotes, right? Who's going to win here? Either you. So what is defending that? No, well, Vincent, I can't get you quotes until I actually go through my appointment. Well, I don't want to sit through the appointment. That's exactly, you gave them something to grab onto because you said, no, I can't do it that way, right? Versus, oh, okay, that's exactly what I'm doing, Vincent. So, on health condition wise, what did you have? Right? I gave them nothing to hang on to. I agreed with what they said, Well, how long is this going to take? I need to get my options really quick. Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm gonna get you some options really quick. So let's go through this super quick. So those health conditions, right? What do we have? Again, we're still going to do what we do. We're just not going to let the roadrunner tell us how we do it, right? Their job is to run away. They don't want to sit through the appointment, not because they don't want to, because they're just being the roadrunner. That's what we have to understand as a salesperson, right? Like we're like we buy their, and listen to this. They sell us because we buy their excuse of, I don't have time. I got to go pick up the kids right now. I can't do this. Me and my wife can't meet. I need to hurry up because I got a meeting right now. Hey, you only got 10 minutes because I got to go pick up the kids. That's the roadrunner being the roadrunner. Who books an appointment 5 minutes before they got to leave and pick up the kids? They don't. They just sold you, and you were like, oh, okay. So it's if well, so the full mortgage payoff is going to be this, right? You just skipped the entire script and you just gave them because the roadrunner sold you, right? Understand your job is to run the appointment. Now, if they're not going to let you run the appointment, that's on them, but we're not going to falter, right? We're gonna, oh, okay, that's exactly what I'm doing. And we're going to keep going with script. Now, if they straight up say, hey, I have to go and buy, great. Tomorrow, 3 o'clock, that's a good time for you. We'll continue this. Or today, right? Sense of urgency. Oh, you got to go get the kids? Great, no worries. I forget I have to pick up kids sometimes too. So how long does that take you, Vincent? For an hour? 30 minutes? Great. So we can be back on here in an hour, right? It's always sense of urgency. We control, right? And again, we don't come, right? You don't want to give them any kind of resistance, right? You always want to agree to what they're saying and still do what you're going to do, right? I hope y'all understand that, right? We're going to agree to what they're saying by, oh, okay, that's exactly why I'm calling. And then we're still going to do our job, which is run a full script no matter what. And it just becomes fun that way, right? When you truly start to embrace that, because it again, you understand, you start winning versus believing what they say, right? That's the biggest thing, is they have more belief. It's oh, Chris Cook says this so great. It doesn't matter, right? So if you're trying to get an application, if you're trying to hire a recruit, it's the most convicted person is going to win, right? It's whoever's the most convicted is going to win. So if the client is telling you something and they make you believe it, it's because they have more confidence. Vincent, I'm telling you, I don't have a mortgage. It's paid off already. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen that letter. And you're like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't know how I got you. They won. They won. They're the most convicted. You understand? They just hung up that phone 30 minutes ago, right? Like they bought a home. How many? Look, I'm 42 years old. How many people do y'all know that bought a home and within 5 years paid it off? I know zero. Who knows somebody in their circle that has paid off a home in less than 5 years? Anyone? Does that make sense to y'all? Because between all of us, we know hundreds and thousands of people. Who do you know paid off their house in less than 5 years? They're lying. Okay. They were just more convicted than you were the time they were talking to you. I hope that really it's a big eye opener for y'all. Okay. They don't have, who understands mortgage companies do not sell mortgage protection? I understand that. Show of hands. Everybody understand that? Mortgage companies do not sell mortgage protection. They don't have this coverage, right? Path of less resistance. I already have life insurance. So I have enough to pay off this home, right? Who understands that the people that we sell more life insurance to are the believers of insurance? So if you have somebody with life insurance policies, do you understand those are likely your best clients? The ones that have $1 million of coverage, the ones that have IULs already, the ones that have 400, 500,000 of coverage, the ones that tell you, I have enough life insurance to cover the house now. Do we understand? I do. Those are our best clients. They believe in insurance. I am your worst client. Before I came to life insurance, I do not believe in insurance. James is your best client. James buys he buys insurance for the toy gun at Walmart. He gets got with insurance. He loves it. It's his favorite thing. He is a believer of insurance. We are looking to sell insurance to people that have insurance in place. Do not let them be the most convicted, right? We actually want them to tell us, I have a lot. Great. Just follow script. What does the script
And
say?
that's, yeah, a lot of us get scared. I don't mean to interrupt, but
Yeah.
a lot of us get scared to ask that question. I love asking that question because if they have it, it's so true. 90% of the time, they do not have enough insurance to cover their mortgage. Like the guy I spoke with yesterday, he had a policy. He just retired from the VA. He had a policy for 150,000. He's 50 years old, and he was paying $300 for it. I got him double the coverage and cover the full mortgage. His mortgage was almost 600,000, and I got him the full coverage for that for less than what he was paying.
We get again, he didn't let the roadrunner be the roadrunner. The roadrunner, I already have coverage. I already great. Let's look into this because most of the time they're lying, right? How many of y'all have had a 60-year-old say, oh no, I got $1 million of coverage. I'm good. Sweet. Oh, okay, that's great. Put it aside, follow the script, go back to script. And then when you're going through the budget, great. Hey, you said you had this $1 million life insurance policy. Do you know who? Let's dig into that a little bit, right? Then they're like, oh, well, actually, I guess it's only 200,000. And oh, okay, great. Usually when y'all have that much amount, it's probably a term or something. Do you know who you got it from? Oh yeah, looks like I got it like 17 years ago. Oh, more than likely sounds like it's gonna. Can we look at it? Oh, it expires in 3 years. You don't got coverage, right? Again, who's the most convicted, right? And again, we're not combated. Oh, okay, great. And then move on to script, right? That is the biggest magic I can give y'all. Do not combat the client. Agree and move on. You are still going to do what you do. You're still going to follow the script. You're still going to go through it, but just agree and move on. You give them absolutely nothing. And right, and I'm talking to myself here, right? I've been running a couple of appointments, and I started combating them, and I'm like, oh, and the next thing you know, it's like, yeah. So it sounds like we don't need this, but that's me giving up. Right? Like you got to understand, we got to continue to work on our appointments, right? We have to get out of our feelings. We have to follow the script and not argue with them, agree and continue to move forward. I don't know, James, anything else on appointments or agreeing with them? I mean, you're really good at just kind of compartmentalizing, right? What they tell you and just put it aside. And that's the best thing, right? Whatever ammunition they're using towards you, just grab it and put it in a little box, right? Oh, okay, great. Just back to script and you put it in a little box. And now you know what to talk about because guess what? That's going to be their objection. That's what they're going to try to use. If you follow the script, in the script, it's going to have somewhere where you tear that apart, right? It's going to, well, I don't make any decisions because we're going to have to think about it. We're the family that prays about it, drinks about it, whatever. Okay, great. Hey, those are the options. Hey, Amber, this is where you get to think about it. I'm going to go grab some water because I've been talking all day. I'm going to give you all about 2 or 3 minutes, 5 minutes if you need it. Take as much time as you want. I'll be right back. Mute and walk out.
Yeah, even if it's not a couple, if it is by himself too, they want to think about it too. Like I did that yesterday. He was thinking about it, like, let me just double check my numbers and everything. Like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna let you think about it. I'm gonna go grab some water, be right back. When he
All
came
right.
back, yeah, hey, I'm gonna do this one and this one.
We're in control. We agree with what they say. We put it in a little box in the appointment, and the script is going to do the script and tear that apart. Understand that, right? Hey, well, we're going to have to look at our budget, blah, blah, blah. Great. Put it aside, right? And when you go through the budget, hey, I just want to make sure, Jen, we're looking at the same thing. It looks like money coming in is about 6,500. Money going out, it's about 3,000 with everything. So there's about 3,500 left over, right? The Coyote won. They have nothing to fight you with because you agreed and you moved on. And then you let the script do what it does, right? And that's why you can't skip any part. Because if you skip any part, there you're letting them have that ammunition at the end. Um,
And just if y'all struggling or you're getting a lot of think about it as well, or when you're asking for banking information, if you're not running Zoom appointments, it's a great part to just start there because that brings down the wall because they see somebody. Yesterday, the guy he just bought some land, he was hunting. Guess what I could relate to? You know what I mean? It was an easy layup for me.
Love it. Right. Get to use that. And again, right, the path of least resistance is whatever they're telling you as an objection, we don't overcome it. We just acknowledge it and move back to script. There is magic in that, right? Oh, okay. And move on. I've acknowledged you. I was respectful. I heard what you said. Doesn't matter. I have to do my job. Just like you're going to be the roadrunner, I'm going to be the coyote. My job is to finish the scripts no matter what. When it becomes fun because it gets crazy. Like me and James will be in dial sessions and the client is saying all kinds of random stuff and we ignore it. Oh, okay. And then we go back to script. And then next thing you know, they're booking a perfect appointment. They're giving us all their information, their spouses, their illnesses. They give us their email to send them the Zoom, and then they're even cracking jokes with us by the end. Like it is the coolest little turnover right there, or right conversion, because again we didn't fight with them. They were looking for a fight. We didn't look for the fight. We agreed and we moved on. Ashley, you got your hand up.
Hi, thank you. So I'm going to take a step back a little bit. What happens for booking the call when we do everything right? We agree with them, we keep them on the phone, and they want to book an appointment, but they want to book it a month out or 3 weeks out. Maybe I'm getting a little off base here,
Oh,
but
that's
what do we
good.
do then?
Right. Again, that doesn't exist. That's something you're causing, right?
Okay,
I know that may sound a little weird. So everyone we call books for tomorrow, almost everyone. Like if I talked to yesterday, I booked 9 appointments. They all booked for tomorrow, other than one, right? That
okay,
booked next Monday. My next Monday one, the odds of them. In fact, they already emailed me and canceled. Right? That's why they're telling you next month, next week. It's actually a no. But
okay,
it's somewhere in your script. Again, what I would advise is you need to get with your mentor and let them hear you booking the appointment, because you're causing that, right? Because there's no way everyone else books them for tomorrow except you, right? So realize it's something in your script. They're winning, right? They're saying something that's making you book, right? So they won. There's something that's making you say, oh, we have to do it next week, next month, right? Usually it's just we're believing them. I'm super busy. Right. In our script, there is nowhere where we pause and say, what's a good time for you? So realize if that's happening, you're pausing somewhere and they're telling you now, they're giving you information, right? So they're winning, they're being the road runner, right? So somewhere in your script, you're pausing and they're telling you when they're available. So it might just be something you make it sound like a question. When's a good time for you?
okay.
Right? Versus in the script, it should say, hey, tomorrow afternoon or evening is a good time for you. Right.
Okay.
And then they can combat it again. Well, we're super busy, blah, blah, blah. We're never, oh, okay. So tomorrow in the evening or afternoon, which when's a good time for you and John? I know that sounds crazy, but I
So I
promise.
hear you, but we're still doing, I don't
Yeah,
care.
but
I don't want
tomorrow,
to say I don't care, but
right? And then they're like, well, no, I'm super busy, right? We both don't get home till late. Oh, okay. I have appointments late. So 7, 8 o'clock a good time for you?
okay,
Right?
that's
Whatever
helpful.
they say. Oh, I know it sounds crazy, but it works so well. You can never get us together. We're both super busy. He's out of the country. Oh, okay. So tomorrow at 4 o'clock, we can get Zoom on both of y'all on there.
Because he's here, she's there, we can do Zoom. Yep,
Right?
okay, okay,
Can't get us
that's
together.
helpful.
Again, we agree and move back to script. Oh, okay. Sounds like we probably need a 5 o'clock tomorrow or later in the evening so that both of y'all can be on Zoom. I acknowledged and I went back to script. Right now, again, if they don't book from that part, great, right? Like it's just a no, right? But you don't give into what, again, if our sales process doesn't work, they won somewhere. Realize that, right? That's why we teach one, you should always be able to book for appointment. Like, and you're going through the transition, Ashley, that's normal. You are supposed to struggle to book tomorrow appointments. And then things like this today is going to help you start booking appointments for tomorrow. Because trust me, in a month, if you keep at it, you're like, I don't understand why before I always book next week. And now all of a sudden, no matter who I talk to, always books for tomorrow, no matter what. So you're going through it, and just realize again, we're going through that transition of we're learning to be better, right? So
Thank you.
yeah, that was a good one.
Hey, Joe, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
When you've run through your appointment and the appointment feels good, you go through and you're sticking with your script, we've gone over their budget, going over their health, get to the very end right before doing the application. And as we're starting the application, they say, wait, are you saying that you need my decision today? What's the response to that when, again, they've already gone through everything? They've given you everything that you need to help them actually do the application. And then now they're saying, hey, but I'm not ready to make a decision today.
Great question. You have our role and purpose?
Yes. And again, I kicked it off with that. Absolutely.
You have the other role and
Yes,
purpose.
the other role and purpose. Yes.
Okay, so then you're just not saying it right.
Okay.
Right? Because the other role and purpose very clearly says
it does.
Whatever options you like, we're gonna pick those. I'm gonna fill out the application today. Once it's approved, and normally instantly approved. If not, it takes a day or two. But once it's approved, it's drafting out of your account, and you're gonna have coverage today, Vincent. Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
So if you say it clearly like that, they're right there. They say, nope, I don't do an application today. Like the actual ones that will not let you. So if they're giving it to you at the very end like that, that just means in your role and purpose is weak, right? That just means you're either brushing through it or you're saying it's scared. Like, oh, and if you like the options, right? I promise you that's where it's at.
I'm assuming that part of it has to do with again, I didn't run it one-legged, I ran a two-legged appointment, but about halfway through the appointment, they switched who was in control of the talking, if that makes sense.
They started drilling you with questions?
Well, no, it's just they started with
themselves.
The wife was the person who I was speaking with at first, right? And she agreed at the beginning, and about halfway through the appointment, the husband started talking. And then we got to the end, and he was the one who says, "You're asking me to make a decision today." And so I think that maybe he just wasn't listening at the very beginning or what have you. But okay, I'll make sure that they both have they're both agreeing to that.
On that one, remember, again, you're in control. So, and this is a great one, right? Look, I'm gonna hurt some feelings or not. Y'all, everyone understands the wife is in control, right? The wife is the boss. If you don't believe that, I promise you haven't been married long enough. The wife is the boss. I don't care who does the money. The wife is the one that's going to make the decision. Realize 98% of the time we're putting coverage in place. It's on the husband to protect the wife. Okay. And so if we now know that, Vincent, if you ever get into that position, you're in control. You agree with whatever he's saying. But then it's like, right, Mary, how do you feel about this? Right. You go back to those questions where, hey, right, so we did go through your budget a little bit. John, looks like you pass away. There's not, Mary, you're not bringing, and then you direct it to her. Mary, you're not bringing in enough income, right? Because you're only going to have 3,500 and we need 5,000. Is that right? And we make her answer the questions now, and we actually take the power away. So realize we have control of who has the power. We always want it with the female, right? When there's a male and a female. And again, we get to do that by questions, right? So you get to redirect it, Vincent, in that case, right? Hey,
beautiful.
Mary, how does that feel? Right? What does that look like? Right? And then so if it's at the very end when that was happening for you, realize you can do it. Hey, I know we talked about this. Again, we're going to agree. Hey, I don't want to write an application. You're asking me to make a decision. Oh, okay. Mary, I know we talked, right? I'm in control. Mary, I know we looked at this, right? Right. Is this something that we want to get coverage in place today? Because it looks like Mary, John dies tomorrow. there is no coverage. I don't care what the husband's saying. I'm back to, I'm in control, right? I agree. Oh, okay. Because now you're going to have to combat him. Well, I can give you 5 minutes, or normally they do. Again, anything you say, well, I don't. I don't make decisions today. Again, we gave them something to grab onto, right? So agree and move on. And again, through questions, you can control the conversation. So I hope that helps, Vincent.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Girl power. That's right, Amber. Anyone else on any questions on that? Again, right? This is a chasing game. I know it's so hard. Look, the hardest part about this that I'm talking about today is we can't hear ourselves. I hope y'all understand what I mean by that. So while you're in the appointment, our nerves are up. We're tense. We're trying to stay on script. We don't hear what we're saying out loud. I promise you. I can't tell you how many agents we've heard. And after we tell them what they said, they're like, I never said that. I'm like, no. You said word for word this. And they're like, no, I didn't. And then if we record it, luckily, right, they're like, yep. They're like, oh my God, I never heard myself say that. Right. So realize there is nothing like your mentor listening to you or you recording yourself and then going back, right? What I suggest is record yourself, listen to yourself first. You can eliminate a lot of the real quick stuff. But then after that, there is just nothing like running a live appointment in the workroom or with your mentor in a workroom by yourselves. There is nothing. You will write more applications. And I'm a numbers guy. If you're telling me there's something that can increase my application take, right, or helping a family, and it's by you letting me listen to you, right? It's by me letting you listen to me. I'm going to take that route because I want more apps. I need to make more income, right? So again, make this fun. Stop resistant, right? Just agree and move on. And then the biggest thing, right, on today, the reason the workroom should be full is everywhere else you worked. So there's 68 of y'all right now. In no other job could y'all just leave and say your job was done. No other job. Okay. There should literally be 68 of y'all move to the workroom and dialing or be in a workroom dialing with your mentor. Unmuted and listen. That's just facts. There is nowhere you can go work by yourself and you be the manager, right? Unless you own your own business here, right? That's why we do it. There's nowhere else you could go to do that. You would have to work in front of your manager, your boss, or your coworkers. And for us, we're all coworkers, right? So realize if 68 of y'all disappear, you are choosing the hardest path possible to win here. We should all go to the workroom, or again, let your mentor listen to you, right? And that go into a private room. Hey, Mark, I want you to listen to me run an appointment, right? Because we could be working and we can be listening to you, right? So allow us to help you run appointments. So thanks for this one, and see you on the next one.